What's up, everybody? Back for another game of Clue. This is the new Steam version, Marmalade Games. I believe it's actually on Steam sale right now for board games, as many of the other programs made by Marmalade Games are right now. So if you're interested in getting the game, it is available. This is the Clue or Cluedo version. They also still have the Clue Classic version on there, but I find more online players with this version. Now most people have migrated over to this game. So I'd recommend using this one more often than not. Let's see if we can get in this one, 5-player game. Here we go. All right. Let's get ourselves over to Professor Plum as per usual, ready up, and we'll be right into the game. So this plays just like the classic board game. There are a couple of different versions available, but this one is this game type here is the classic board game. So play order proceeds in typical fashion. Wow, 3 weapons. Okay. So that makes our life interesting. Generally pretty helpful to have more rooms than weapons. In my opinion, we only have 1 room, which is not the best, but we'll just have to figure it out. No characters also, so got one area really nailed down, and then the other areas it's pretty wide open. So we're gonna have to see what we can figure out here fast. Colonel Mustard gets into a room his first turn and guesses Hyacinth with the phone in the dining room. Actually, cut myself back here a little, so it's make a note of that. So maybe we can get lucky and make a deduction later. Too much of me. There we go. Be able to see those suggestions clearly there. All right. This is White's turn. She's not going to make a room. That's too small of a roll. Peacock next. Makes the ballroom. The only thing about this that's really different from like the OG game is the fact that you roll 2 dice instead of 1. That's kind of been a standard for a while. So we've got Plum with the billiard stick in the ballrooms. That means we've been dragged to the ballroom. No eliminations we can do here other than to just notate those 3 items. Now it's going to be our turn. We're going to be in the ballroom. Might as well just guess there. You know what, we're going to pop over to the billiard room because just the risk of ballroom being the card that was had makes that a less exciting guess. So we'll go with White and the silver candelabra. All right, that's really ideal to us. So we're down to just 2 weapons off the bat, which it's always helpful to be ahead in at least one area. Now we just need to continue to get lucky and not, be able to hold on to that advantage by not having to show our cards. Or hope that, a guess doesn't get made that completely exposes one of the weapons as being correct, which would also sort of limit the usefulness of those cards. So something with white to pay attention to here is, based on the way these two guesses have gone, it seems most likely that she either has phone or dining room. And probably doesn't have hyacinth or white. So these notes are likely to be false up here. One of these is more likely to be true. Now she does have, and she also only has 3 cards. So that puts a little more pressure on the fact that, you know, either these players off the bat have gotten very lucky, or she has one of those 2 items. And now we eliminate her from having the phone. So it makes it fairly likely that she has dining room and doesn't have both white and hyacinth, which would, this notation would necessitate. So green, phone, or lounge. It's kind of a bad setup here for us if hyacinth doesn't have phone. Because if hyacinth does have phone, that limits us to the billiard stick and is going to make everybody have to continue to guess around. But if hyacinth doesn't have the phone, and the phone is our murder weapon, that's going to be pretty apparent to everybody, and that's going to render 4 of our 5 cards useless. Excuse me, for 3 of our 4 cards. Candelabra was a given clue from somebody else. So Peacock has one of these. She's going to take her turn now. She was the one who dragged us to the ballroom, so I believe she's still there. She's going to make a guess here in the conservatory. She says, us with the phone. Hyacinth has one of those. That's not 2, that's a 3. So since we're playing a 5-player game, a couple of us here have 4 cards. So if this was a 6-player game, it would be required that Hyacinth would have one of plum or phone, but it's possible that she doesn't here. It's still very likely she has one of them. Let's see here. We're going to go back to the billiard. We're going to guess mustard with the billiard stick. And the reason we're guessing mustard here and not phone is because if phone isn't held by Hyacinth, then it's going to be shown as correct to everybody. But in this way also we leave 2 openings here between mustard and billiard sticks, so we're not giving a free clue to somebody if one of these first 2 items come back as correct. Okay, so we now have our murder weapon. So clear this clue and this clue. There's 2 1s still left, so we can't make an elimination there. We can do this though, this, and that takes 2 and 3 off of there. 2 3 1 3 2. Okay, so we can't make any other eliminations, but we have gotten unlucky here. Isn't that everybody else is going to have the murder weapon narrowed down here pretty quickly based on how that this is gone. So we're probably not going to see guesses on musket, tenderizer, or revolver, which were our 3 cards, and they probably limited those things down without needing to see our cards. So that's kind of not the ideal situation. You know, we want our cards to be a mystery for as long as possible, because that's sort of the most straightforward way of the game. Is if you can hide your cards longer than everybody else, you typically win the game. But even though we haven't shown any of our 3 cards here, they've effectively been exposed by virtue of the phone being a fairly narrowed down weapon. Okay, we get a little help here though, because we can take Tenderizer out of the possibilities. So that means Peacock has either Ballroom or Peacock herself. We're going to need to get kind of lucky on the rooms here, because you know, we only had 1 room card, so that leaves us with 8 eliminations to make. Oh, then this sucks too, because now we're going to have to show the kitchen card right away. So now all of our cards have effectively been exposed. It's possible there's still a person out there that doesn't know between phone and billiard stick, assuming everybody's paying good attention and taking good notes. So it's possible that that's still open. But outside of that possibility, everybody's going to have an idea that we have, or have the possibility open that we have kitchen, or likely know that we either have, she guessed Peacock and kitchen, so know that we either have Peacock or kitchen. But our cards either directly or indirectly have been shown at this point. So that really kind of has us behind the 8 ball here. So Mustard. Oh, and Mustard's probably shown her billiard stick here, so there's really no inferences that we can make from that guess. So Mustard's now in the kitchen. Let's see here. Maybe we can get a little something out of this. Okay. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so we have both those others, so we now get plum as a result of that. Moves 1 and 3 from here. So 1, 3. Okay, so we know we have the ballroom card and the conservatory card. So that was a good swing for us there. And then let's see here, 2. Okay, can only possibly be here. So that gets us Peacock also. That's a pretty nice turn. So we've got the murderer down to 4 and the room down to 6. We're going to assume the Peacock was probably shown by Peacock there. It's possible that she has the hall as well. We're going to ask about Mustard next time to try to narrow that down. I think we've been pulled into the kitchen, so we can just guess about kitchen. And yeah, I mean, the only risk that we run there is people are making some... Yes, people aren't as close on the weapon as I think they are. Or they're trying to find out about weapons to eliminate rooms from an outside perspective, but we're getting lucky. So we've... Let's see here. Let's go to the study. So we've already showed the tenderizer to one person. So we can use the tenderizer as our kind of guessing card now, because we don't want to reinforce that the phone is the murder weapon to anybody that's not paying attention or not taking good notes. So we're going to go Mustard, tenderizer in the study. Let's see what we come up with here. We would like Mustard or White to show us Colonel Mustard, and we don't get it. So Peacock has Mustard. That means that she doesn't necessarily have Hall, so we have to take that clue away. Can eliminate that note. So Colonel Mustard only has one more card. Is there any guesses about where that could be? No. Peacock has two more cards. But there's not really any pressure on those outside of the pressure that we've just put on ourselves with the study. We would like to find out that White doesn't have dining room. Because if White doesn't have dining room, then Mr. Green is the murderer. So that would be a big limiter for us. Okay. So, well, seeing we can't make any conclusions here because we have to assume that the Peacock card was the one that was shown. So that doesn't give us any limitations there on what could have possibly been opened. But we shall see. Colonel Mustard goes back to the kitchen. We would like him to ask about White or Hyacinth. That works. And we're going to show Musket with Bayonet. Because kitchen is a more useful clue at this point. Musket with Bayonet should already be eliminated for players who are paying attention. Now, by virtue of White not having Hyacinth, it means she must have dining room, which now means we don't know that she has anything about White. Dining room is eliminated. Take that 2 off of there. So Mrs. White only has 1 card left. Because her and Mustard both only have 3 cards. Me, Peacock, and Hyacinth received 4. I think we're more ahead on the weapons than I thought we were. I don't know if it's just I'm not adequately considering how those markings are showing up for everyone else. I mean, I guess we've made one assumption. And so I guess to everyone else, it probably shows that either I or Hyacinth that could have the rotary phone. It's a Hyacinth with the musket and bayonet. It seems like everyone's moved on from us as the murderer. It seems like Hyacinth has become the go-to guess. But I don't have it that limited down. Yeah, because there's almost equal pressure on every character right now. There's a little more on Hyacinth and Green. But not much. Okay, we've got to think here for a minute. So it's going to be hard for us to ever get to the billiard room again if we don't walk to the library here. If we go back to the kitchen, the only easy access for us is dining room or ballroom, and we have both of them eliminated. Hall is open, lounge. Okay, so we went ahead I'm going to walk less far than I could, just because I want to leave our options open for next turn. Because we may walk towards hall, we may walk towards library. If we get any assistance in terms of eliminating either the billiard room, library, lounge, or hall. Now, there's a possibility that we've just left the murder room too, which I don't want to discount either. But we shall see. Well, we should find out right here. Ha! So we've not left the murder room. So study is now eliminated. And now Peacock is left with only 1 card. What does that mean? It doesn't mean a ton. It would mean more if we knew more about Mrs. White and what her last card could be. Then that could be useful. So, okay. So Mrs. White and Peacock cannot cover... This is exactly where I was about to go. So now that there's that, now we can eliminate all of this. So this means there is severe pressure on the billiard room because there's only 2 people left that can have that card, and both of them only have 1 card. And it's possible And it's possible that we even could eliminate everything but billiard room and hall. If we knew the murderer if we knew Mustard had green. Mustard has green. Then we're really limited. Oh, Mrs. Peacock's blocked us from the library too. Oh man. Okay, we're gonna go to the hall because we need to make a guess. We're gonna select green. We're gonna continue to use the tenderizer as our substitute weapon here to deceive. Perfect. Okay. I may have misread something here. I might have. Oh no, that's a 2, not a 3. Okay, we're good. So, one of these two, Mrs. Peacock must have. One of these 3, Mrs. Peacock must have. We're going to end our turn, but I need to think here. So, of library, hall, and billiard room, Mustard can have 1. Peacock can have 1. But there's very limited ways that this can work because of the marking here is big. Because the marking here places some real pressure. Okay, that's not useful. Places some real pressure on the billiard room. Because that means there's 2 people that each have 1 card left that must have one of those 2. But they both have 3 possibilities where their check can go. And, yeah, there's some difficulty. The billiard room is the room that I would like to ask about next. Oh, and we can also go this because we know this must be true. Okay, and we have to show the kitchen here. That probably exposes everyone to knowing we have the kitchen. So we're in a position now where we must perform an accusation during our next turn. Because this is not going to get back to us now. Because all of our cards exposed, and I think that everyone who's paying good attention now probably has this down to 3 or fewer rooms, and that's the only X factor. I think everyone at this point knows who the killer is and where they did it. And there's not enough variable left. We'd like some help here. Gotta get it. Beautiful. So that's going to be the answer. It's going to be Hyacinth. So it's Hyacinth with the rotary phone in the library. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I hadn't missed something, but unless we've checked something incorrectly. Beautiful. There it is. So Hyacinth rotary phone library is the answer. See on the clue cards here how close everybody was. I think everybody had to basically, wow. Let's take a look here. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I guess everybody was kind of the same. Geez. I figured everybody was going to be close on the weapon, and I guess they just weren't. I guess we were just in the right kind of position for it. Cool. Yeah, Hyacinth was with us knowing that it was the phone, but she hadn't had much else. Oh, and she... I'm thinking that she had library right at the end with us. Wow, I didn't realize we were that far ahead. Cool. So another victory for us. Going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll be back into another game shortly.